And just like I said, also when it comes to shooters, it's like GoldenEye for the Wii. I find to be like have the best controls as far as competitive shooters because it actually bring new shooter possibilities as far as competitive shooters go. That a traditional controller can't do, and one of them is actually like the main one to actually bring something like a new aspect to shooters like first person shooters is ADS tilt. ADS tilt allows me to ADS bring my gun up and then being able to tilt you know out the corner. So if instead of having to strafe one way, that's exposing part of my body. But if I'm just behind the thing and I'm tilting, my whole entire body isn't exposed. And as we all know, a smaller target is hard to hit. So so I'm a smaller target, so I'm harder to hit. Not saying it's impossible to hit me, but it's like a new I guess say like a better way of covering. Now yes, you can do the thing with the button, but that's the button. I can also do this when I'm out when I'm just out and about, and you got a sniper. If I'm doing this, it's hard to get a headshot on me. And that's another way of avoiding. You got those jumpers. Like when you're playing Call of Duty, you got people who are like rabbits. You're trying to shoot them and like they're just hopping all over the place. And they're hard to hit even for like a mouse player sometimes. Because some people are just so good at it. Like I don't know how they even do it. It's just I don't know. It's crazy how they do that stuff sometimes. But you know, um, that's pretty much all I was saying. I wasn't saying that that most controls are like the end all be all. It's just like from my perspective, I just find that most controls are superior in terms of shooters because of the things that it can do. Excuse me, just as good, if not better, than a traditional controller for shooters. That not saying that it's you know like you were saying before. It's not saying that people still can't beat me. There's plenty of CCP players that beat me. Because they're just a better player. It has nothing to do with control. They're just a better player. Like that may sound contradictory, but it's kind of not. In the same way that like if you're a mouse player, like that your controller has a superior aiming function. But like I said before, you still have to work for it. You still have to aim. You still have to you're not just gonna be pulling headshots off on the analog player like it's nothing. That's not what what I'm saying. Nor what the original article was saying. But as far as racers go, I play Mario Kart. Like I play I'm also played Mario Kart exclusively with the Wiimote. Even with the wheel. But yeah, I can even play without the wheel. I don't need the wheel in order to do better. And I drift too. So I click. I go down the menu, and I'm like I'm really good at drifting with the Wiimote. Like so it's hard to see that that's not true. You can drift just as good with the Wiimote on Mario Kart. You can do everything that a GameCube controller was people mostly play with. On Mario Kart, you can do all that with the Wiimote. So it's not any better or worse. It's on par. You know. So like like I said, like when here in my college, University of Pembroke, University of Pembroke, North Carolina, we have like a game section in our lounge, in like our lounge, and sometimes we get together and we play Mario Kart, and I always choose the Wiimote, and I'm usually up high, like either first, second, or third. Sometimes I have my bad days, which we all have, no matter how good you are. Sometimes you have your bad days, and sometimes you're just in like for me, I'm usually like I say like in the middle, like sixth or seventh. When I'm on a bad day, sometimes getting 12th, like somehow. or like you're getting up in first and then you get blue shelled and red shelled. Now you know how it goes. Then you somehow end up in 12th place. Like, how does that happen? You're only like 10 feet away from the line. But that's the Mario Kart stuff. But that's so like it may not be good for fighters, but it is good for racers. I'm pretty sure you can play Need for Speed with motion controls. It may not necessarily be good with Wiimote because of the limited buttons, but let's take the gamepad. You get the gamepad. It has motion controls capabilities. If you play Project Cars or the next Need for Speed that they make for it, I can still steer with my gamepad. I can still do that. That's what I plan on doing. I'll be able to steer with my gamepad. Just like I do in Mario Kart. And I don't have another racer because Mario Kart is like the only online racer I have. That I even know about. So about another online. Actually, I do know about Excitebox. But yeah, like if as far as I know, like I actually researched, Need for Speed does not have online, so I just decided not to get it. It's like, what's the point? It has no online. But back to the point, racers can work for motion controllers. It just also have to have complementary buttons because the main function of racing is steering. So I can steer with via motion controls, just all the other stuff like braking and stuff. That still needs buttons. Which is why I don't necessarily consider Kinect very I can say efficient for for the games that we have right now as of yet, because developers really haven't figured out how to work it. Like, so I don't really see it as true motion controls. Actually, I think like the whole conversation of what true motion control is kind of blurred. I don't know. As far as I know, there is no real true definition of what motion controls is, like exactly what people are expecting. Cause I don't think Kinect is any more or less motion controls than the Wiimote. So I guess you could I don't know. I just think that the whole idea of that it needs to be clarified. But as far as actual control based Wiimote, I mean control based motion controls, it's more so like, I guess it's like a hybrid between, it's like a slow progression from going into this regular gamepad into Wiimote, which is still a control, but you're just using motion, and then eventually getting into Kinect. Right now, Kinect cannot really do the core games that we're used to, like racers, shooters, adventure games. It really can't, fighters. It really can't do that. So right now, the only thing it has that, right now the only thing that it does have is like, dancing games. But that's not to say that there is nothing for it. There is something for the Kinect that developers just need to think of, and those are brand new gameplay possibilities that I think developers really need to start thinking about. But same thing with my preference of motion control. The Wiimote. I think developers need to quit BS and start thinking of ideas, because they have ideas. I know, because like Red Steel, if you play Red Steel 2, you can see that there was a lot of stuff that they left out. You can tell that they wanted to do something, but they didn't do, due to, I guess, either control limitations, the Wiimote, or console limitations. All I know is I've always wanted like something like Skyrim with motion control. Like the Razer Hydra is the most accurate motion control on the market. Period. And it also has all the buttons that a traditional controller has. So in terms of fighters, you can play a fighter with the Razer Hydra because it has all the buttons. And the analog, it had two analogs. I think that's like the best motion controller out there, because it basically is a traditional controller that's split in half. That gives you the ability to do motion controls. I think Nintendo should have went with that controller design, but they didn't. So what can you do? But if I had a good PC, I would most definitely get the Hydra. because it's just the best. But if they had like I don't know, like a Skyrim mod where like you were able to actually have accurately and precisely do motion based sword attacks, I would love that, because that's what I want. That's what I guess people in general have been wanting from the Wii when it first began. I guess you call that false advertisement. And not even the Move can do even half the stuff that the Hydra can do. With the Hydra, you can actually point and shoot with you can actually accurately aim dual weapons. Like if you have two pistols, you can accurately aim with two pistols. If you have two swords, you can do that with two swords. Just imagine that with the Kinect. I mean, not Kinect, but all possibly. But just imagine that with Skyrim. You've been able to travel. Then when you're in a fight, you can block and hit, or you can take your two daggers and just you can just go ham. That's what I've been wanting. That's what everyone's been wanting from motion controls, and that's what it can do with the Hydra. But no developer has really stepped up to really do it. The Hydra actually is making some progress with that, but there's no one to actually really take it, and just make a game specifically for it that really pushes the limit, and that's why I've been wanting from motion controls. So that'll be the end of the video. Sorry, long enough. Kind of, but I do respect, DC 1983's opinion on it, and I hope people respect mine, and yeah, I'm not saying that motion controls should replace anything. I also want to make sure that's clear. I don't want motion controls to replace anything. I just want it to be added as a necessary, option, because so far, typically when new peripherals come out, like they're there, but they get a couple casual games and you never see them again. Like the iToy, iToy was a brilliant idea that never went anywhere. Not because it didn't have potential, because no one tried to do anything with it. And I would hate to see the Wiimote or motion controls in general go away because developers just don't want to do anything. And the Wiimote has made a lot of progress that people actually took the time to appreciate. They'll say, okay, this is where it is now, but given the right game, this is where it can be. And that's really where us motion control, I guess you can call fans, or that's where we want to see motion controls go, and hopefully other gamers would support us in that, I guess say search, so developers, if you're out there and you see this video, do something, just stop, just like we've done it all. There's nothing more to do. We can do. It's been done. You can do more. You can do more now with these new gameplay possibilities. I'm done. All right.